And we are live. What's up, folks? Happy Tuesday morning. I had my other monitor unplugged for a few days, and now the aspect ratio is all wacky. Yeah, it's really odd. Really odd, man. Let's see if I can do this. Oh, there we go. All right. So I'm sitting here dodging snowstorms, which is awesome. Check one. Hey, hey. Just tweaking the sound a little bit for a second. All right. You can just about see. All right. There we go. Good enough. So how about these Trump picks, right? Wow. Nothing like a fascist with no ideology whatsoever except for supporting Trump at all costs. Nothing like having someone like that appointed to or nominated for one of our top law enforcement positions in the country, right? So there's that. And this border czar Holman cat and was it Pete Hegseth? I don't know. I'm not a big Fox person, so. But you know. That's a little different. Obviously, for me. Doing such an early morning stream. Oops. Gosh darn it. There we go. Spam the Chud chat a little bit. And of course RFK Jr. and wow, what a circus, right? See, we got the spring countdown clock up and going. But yeah, so Trump or Patel has expressed quite the enemies list. And man, God, is that shit scary. I don't know, we some of us keep saying that holding out thinking, God, there's got to be some sane Republicans that just don't want to go down that road of autocracy, right? Possible dictatorship, all the above. But who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But man, he's listed Republicans, people that served in the Trump administration, his first term. Of course, just a long list of Democrats and folks that don't agree with Trump on dismantling the Constitution, which would effectively do away with our country, right? So I think that obviously we've seen people like yesterday I seen a clip of Ted Cruz propping up the cash nom. And my thoughts right away were, well, he's just going to, he's going to push for it rather, and he'll probably vote to confirm him, but at least Cruz will, but probably thinking or hoping or knowing that he won't be confirmed by the whole Senate. So I think that people like Cruz are just going to go ahead and bow to everything dear leader says or suggests, and that way Cruz knows no matter what happens, he'll still always be in or try to remain in Trump's good graces if that's possible. I mean, he stabbed so many people in the back, it's ridiculous, right? So I think we have 48 days or something like that until January 20th. And it'll be crazy. It's going to be a wild ride regardless for some time. I haven't been streaming much the last couple weeks, as you guys know. Just cleaning up some stuff on my channel, trying to get some stuff straight with YouTube, so I can be in compliance. You guys know how I hate pushing the boundaries. So there's a lot going on for sure still. Um, I've already and have had my mindset on 2026. Um, Nosy, good morning. Good to see you. Yeah, we're doing well. Just, you know, mentally preparing to battle the winter like every year. We got hit early with some pretty cold weather. I mean, for the last week now, it's been chilly, and we are supposed to maybe get above freezing today. We're supposed to be back in the 40s for a few days next week anyway, so that's cool. It doesn't look like, even though I'm watching the radar here, looks like it might be snowing out there by me, out here by me just a little bit. Just a few light flakes. South Haven getting hammered again today, or this morning. Wes, good morning, sir. Wes says it's 44 degrees in Florida this morning. Yeah, that's probably... I know you guys can get cold, right? I think it was below freezing there yesterday morning in some parts of Florida, like maybe the northern and panhandle or something, but I don't know how that works with the orange crops. I know that's always a big concern with any frost, so I don't know if I think if the frost comes in January, if you guys get really cold down there, that's when it becomes a problem. Like the trees aren't flowering, or they're dormant right now. But yeah, we haven't been above freezing for it's been a little while. I'd have to go back. It's got to be very close to a week now, if not. Wes says, yeah, his brother's house. Your brother must live just a little north of you then, or north of you. Let's see if I can do this. There it is. Amazing. Oops. How come I don't have that locked? There we go. That'll help. So I'm a little north there. I'm north a little bit. I'm about 20 minutes north of Holland. That's all snow, Nosy. Anything blue is snow. Pink, freezing rain. Yellow, green, Heavy duty red, be all rain. Wes says, all I know as a child in New Jersey at 6 years old, snow was fun. Yeah, I'm not sure how many memories I have of 6 years old, but I'm sure I enjoyed it. I tell you what, Wes, growing up on the lakeshore there in Grand Haven, literally my grandparents lived across the street from the Michigan State Park. We have massive dunes, right? God, we used to sled on them. I remember always talking about mentioning that we would go sledding on Thanksgiving with just what seemed like tons of snow. And I can't remember having tons of snow on Thanksgiving or that early for a while now. I mean, it happens, but yeah, we've lucked out. I'm there in Muskegon County. I don't know if you can see my cursor or not, probably. Or my pointer, probably not. You can't. That's weird. I don't know why. Oh, you can. Yeah, so I'm there in Muskegon County. And we've been lucky. I mean, it's been, I mean, look at that. That's all just lake effect snow. That's what happens. It just sits there right offshore and builds and just throws down big time. And you can see that Traverse City up there gets hit hard, and Watertown that got hit earlier or late last week, a few days ago, maybe it was Saturday and Sunday, they're getting creamed again. Or are getting more snow that they don't need. But yesterday it was snowing all the way down into Tennessee. I don't think we have the oh, it is starting to get light out now. Might be able to bring up a South Haven live cam. A second. We'll give oops. We'll give Wes a little live shot of some West Michigan winter wonderland. I don't know how well you guys will be able to see that actually. Find out here in a second. Should I just expand it all the way a second and give you guys a good shot? So there is the pier and lighthouse there in South Haven, Michigan, live. Right on Lake Michigan. And they are getting hit. They are getting their share of snow. Pretty beautiful though, actually. All right, I'm done messing with that. Wes says snow at her front door blocked my dad. Had to push me out the window. Was that like 76, 77 blizzard, Wes? I was 8 years old in 78. I think that was when we had the massive blizzard. Yeah, we had to man, wish I had pictures. I don't know. I've got all my mom's old pictures and stuff, but I don't think there's anything of that house in there. But yeah, we had drifts all the way up to the roof of the house. First or ground floor roof, right? Or first story roof. It was, never seen anything like it since. I mean, the mounds of snow on the sides of the roads, on the country roads, like at the intersections, were twice the height of our vehicles. Yeah, that's Lake Michigan. Yep, South Haven, Michigan, right on the lake. Nosy says that winter was epic also here in Germany, or there in Germany where she lives. Wes says he moved to Florida in 69. '69, I was 17, running up 101. I mean, there's not. I was gonna say there's nothing I can do about climate change, but there is. I guess I can always do my part to do better. But so far, we've still had we've had our winters have still been pretty normal. I mean, everything does go in shorter cycles, longer. There's cycles, right, of all different lengths. So, the last few years have been a little on the light side for snow, but we've still been getting our average snowfall. Last year, we didn't have as many sub-zero temp days, I think, as we might normally have, which I'm okay with. I mean, we got to have, there has to be a rest period for nature, right? It needs, like, for example, tulips have to be exposed to below freezing temps for about 6 weeks to be healthy. So, and that's the same with a lot of plant life here in the north, right? Like it needs that time to rest or whatever it is and to rejuvenate or get ready for spring. And it's kind of depressing, you know, like I like fall and I don't, I mean, I've had it with like, I keep saying winter is exhausting because it is. Trudging through deep snow and the cold, you know, it's like a little bit of snow I'm okay with. Cold temperature, I mean, I do live in the north, so I can't cry too bad about it unless I want to get off my ass and move. But I like watching the occasional or the blizzard that we usually get once a year or whatever, right? But yeah, I don't like having a couple feet on the snow on the ground for 3 freaking months and just cold temperatures constantly. It's nice to get snow and cold and then maybe get into the upper 30s or whatever and have a little thaw and back and forth. I'm good with that. Nosy says we hardly have snow here in normal winters. One says we had a couple cabins in Georgia mountains for when we wanted to see snow. Elijah, Georgia. I haven't seen or been in the mountains too many times. Just the Appalachians. Appalachians. Yeah, so if you see that, look at that radar now and all that dark blue just coming onto the shoreline, just coming onto the lake shore at South Haven there, and then you look at the live cam above it, and you can see how it's picking up. They had, I don't know, at least a foot of snow yesterday, and they'll get, the way this radar looks, they're going to get another foot today. And it's all just going right around me, and I could not be more happy about it. That's where Stone Mountain is. Wes, I could not tell you if I've ever been through Georgia or not. I don't think so. We would always go south to Mississippi when I was a kid to visit family. So we would just, you know, obviously take a straight shot from West Michigan to the Tupelo area. Stone Mountain is old KKK territory. Yeah, hopefully I am getting I mean, there's not. I don't know. I have some decisions to make, but I'm pretty much in winter mode now, so I don't have a lot to do at the moment. Kind of like to get in the habit. It's early for folks, I know, and a lot of folks do work during the day, even through the winter. But I would like to get more streams going get a stream going more often again. I hadn't planned on taking such a hard break, but after having to clean up my channel and all that good stuff and processing all the bullshit, I've regrouped a little bit. I've set my I know you guys probably can't tell, nothing probably looks any different to you, but little by little I get more and more organized up here in the studio. Frenchie's Clearwater, see if it's live. Is that, you know, Wes, I don't know if I mention every once in a while that I traveled for Hooters for a couple years. And I believe Clearwater is the home of the original first Hooters. There are a few Florida cams that I check out like during when the hurricanes are coming in. I don't see I don't see a live cam. Wait a minute. Yeah, I don't got a Clearwater Beach camp. Oh yeah, here we go. No, it's not showing any. Oh, wait a minute. Oh yeah. Yeah, that looks a little bit more pleasant than the South Haven cam. I can't leave theirs up for too long though, because they are a live YouTube channel, so. It looks very pleasant there, Wash, you bastard. Oops, I almost deleted the wrong feed. I had too much going here at once. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Beach view of the Gulf. It is beautiful. You know, I guess growing up here on the lake shore, and people, I know whenever I mention West Michigan, people are like, what's this guy got to be so specific about West Michigan for? It's a hidden gem. I'm telling you, West Michigan is like, it's, and yeah, we have we don't have pleasant weather like throughout the year like Clearwater, but when it's summertime here, it is gorgeous, and there's shit to do. I guess if you're a winter nut, there's it's a great four season state, but I've never touched a toe in the ocean. One day, we always say we're unsalted here. Lake Michigan, unsalted. Yeah, South Haven is about to get just hammered. That live feed will probably be just white pretty soon. There won't be much distinction. It's Florida, Nosy. Nosy says, "Can any dum dum just rent a jet ski? Looks kind of dangerous." Well, it's Florida. I mean, not taking any shots at West, but he knows. Like anywheres, I guess there's a whole lot of there's a large group of folks that aren't so bright. Nosy, I have to say how much I appreciate you, all our brothers and sisters in Europe. And I know that's such a generalization. I don't mean to be, you know, I know Europe is a very diverse place, but like, Europe, a lot of folks in Europe speak a little English, understand and speak a little English, or a fair amount or a lot. And it's just really cool. Like you and Kate, our friend Kate Broom from Belgium, um, Crazy Bulgarian, my buddy Crazy B from Bulgaria. Uh, there's a few folks that I'm able, it's just nice that I really appreciate and respect that folks in Europe, kind of have, you guys care, you involve yourselves, you're informed, and you do your best to always try to relate, communicate, understand everyone. It's just really cool that I can sit here and just speak in my native language, which is the only one I know, and not that I have it mastered, but be able to talk to folks from all over. And Nosy, I think I've told you I can say a few words in German, like Schokolademilch, and I'm sure you'll probably correct me on some of this. And das Brot, Guten Tag, Guten Morgen, Guten Abend. I think I can count to 10 or 11 or 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then then I get confused on adding the 21, 31, 32. Otherwise, I think if I got that straight, I could probably count to 100 or 99. Yeah, Wes, my mom passed in May of 23, but her and Pop used to, they were, they spent, they lived in Florida half a dozen years before that, but had been going back and forth for 20 years, right, to Ocala. And I think the last time they moved home when Mom got real sick. So they moved home in, I want to say, maybe at the end of 2022. That might be right. Very close. They weren't home for long, bought their house before Mom went into hospice. But yeah, a lot of folks down there living in campers and trailers and stuff. It's I don't know. I could never handle the heat. Couldn't handle the bugs. Couldn't handle the heat. But they were traders, swappers, uh, bargain bennies. It's kind of what they did. The big roadside swap meet yard sale thingies. My German didn't sound too bad. You know that everything I spewed there, Nosy, was from seventh grade. So like I don't know, 1982, 83. I had a semester of German in junior high in seventh grade. I could have. We had a choice between French, Spanish, and German. In German, I guess you correct me on this, being as close to Dutch, which have Dutch roots, right? So I took that. I almost, I mean, I don't regret it because it's neat, but Spanish would probably be, I'd probably be, might get more use out of Spanish, but who knows. Now my oldest, I don't know, she took 4 years of Spanish in high school, a couple years of Spanish in college. She was, I mean, she's pretty much fairly fluent. She would be if she used it more, but being able to write and read and all that is crazy. It's one thing to be able to learn some words to speak, right? But, or to be able to communicate in that way. It's another thing to be able to read and write it. Wes says his dad bought a house for $18,000 for my grandparents in St. Pete. I mean, I would like to visit Florida. I am not a heat guy, but I definitely like the dreamy kind of tropical beach settings. It'd be cool. I think I'd probably be more about going to some islands or something, though. I mean, maybe the Keys would be cool, right? I have an aunt in the Keys. Wes says built built our house in Seminole with a pool for $30K. Went to school there, Seminole Warhawks. Whoop. See what I tell you guys? Look at that top. Look at that top feed. It's all whited out now. They are. It is just coming down. I mean, that's easily an inch every 30 minutes or so. I'll bet you. And it just doesn't look like it's going to let up for him anytime soon. But again, where OTV is, we got nothing. Just some clouds. The sun actually peeked out yesterday afternoon at around 3:34ish. Nosy says, crazy. Is that a blizzard? No, just lake effect snow. That's what we deal with here on the lakeshore of Michigan. Like across the lake, Nosy in Wisconsin, they're much colder than us, but they don't ever get the kind of snow we do. I mean, they get snow, but I'm sure our average is at least 30-40% more a year than just on the other side of the lake there. No, it's called the Lake Effect Snow Machine, and there's only a few places in the country that get it like we do. So West Michigan, Buffalo, New York, Watertown, New York, Erie, Pennsylvania, just, basically places around the lakes, as you can see. Now that's into Canada, but here, where is Erie? Right there. So you can see there's Erie, and the snow bands, lake effect snow bands, are kind of missing them today, or for right now, but yeah, lake effect snow machine. That's what these Great Lakes do when the cold air swoops down out of Canada across those warm waters. It just lights things up big time. It's literally like a blizzard. It gets to be blizzard conditions. Like, it's not very windy out there, and it's about 25 degrees. Might be even slightly warmer in South Haven. But yeah, it can be and they do have a winter weather advisory. So not like that's less than a winter storm advisory or a winter storm warning, but they are, because that takes a few factors. Like, it's not cold enough probably, and there probably isn't the winds to ramp it up to that, but there's certainly the snowfall amount is at blizzard conditions. B, what's up, sister? Cheers to you. What's it like? Looked like Holland was getting maybe a little, yeah, maybe not so much, because they got a decent webcam there in Holland. There's pier cams all the way up the lakeshore, which is cool. I just don't bring them up very often. Usually, I need another camera so I can. I need a new camera, and I can use this old one to go out my studio window. But there's nothing happening here right now. Just cold and cloudy. Yeah, Wes says it stops when the lakes freeze. Kind of. I mean, the colder they get, the less lake effect snow we get. Again, to your point, the warmer waters early in the season, when we get Arctic air from Canada, definitely creates that lake effect snow machine. But it can happen at any time. I mean, those waters never freeze all the way across, or haven't in a long, long time. Last year, now, like I was saying, we didn't have a ton of snow right away, and we didn't have long periods of cold weather, like, and almost no, like, sub-zero temps. Like, usually there's a week, 5, 6, 7 days where it'll be, in the single digits and below zero. And that gets to be a bit. But yeah, the lake keeps West Michigan warmer in a sense than, like I was telling Nosy, across in Wisconsin. But yeah, it creates all that moisture creates a hell of a snow machine. But to Wes's point, as it gets colder and colder, and you get ice, hundreds of yards out from the lakeshore, right? Way past the piers. um, when you have a normal winter back in like we used to walk out on them, and I don't recommend that. So anybody listening, you're in West Michigan, don't, when the snow caps, the ice caps start forming on the lake, don't go out there walking around, because far too often people slip down in those crevices. You're not climbing out. Nobody's going to hear you. Nobody's going to, it's fucking sketchy shit. Yeah, fucking dude, Connor Croft was in South Haven yesterday. He's one of those storm chasers. And he got out of his car at the state park, and he starts heading towards the pier, and he gets to the pier base, and I'm like, dude, what is wrong with you, man? This isn't smart. It's not smart to broadcast people walking on the pier. I mean, you are clearly a fucking Southern boy. You don't walk around on the piers in the winter in the middle of a storm. I mean, there's nobody out there. You go down, you're on your own, because nobody's even going to know that you're fucking struggling to send help, and they're not going to have an easy time fucking fishing your ass out of there. Yeah, but Wes says I've seen deer rescued off the ice. Yeah, but you're talking probably flat ice. This is literally like sharp, jagged peaks that can be, and pits that can be 15, 20 feet deep, right? And it's just like that. It's like literally like pictures you've seen of Antarctica, right? Where it's just impossible to, like you're mountain climbing these mini 15, 20-foot mountains, right? And it's just very dangerous because there's always water in the bottom, liquid water in the bottom. You're just not climbing out of that shit. All I want to do is chew some gum. I got a feeling I'm not the only one. God, I've been up since like, I don't know, 4:20. Seriously, something like that. 4:45. I don't know. I rolled around for a while first. I think I crashed out at 9-ish. Probably slept solid till, well, I slept until I think I woke up at quarter after midnight. Did a little bathroom break, and then I got another solid hour or two of sleep before I started rolling around for a while. But Mrs. V this morning was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm restless. I slept. It's winter, so now I'm gonna stream." And she's like, "It's 7 o'clock in the morning." I'm like, "I know. I'll just hang out and wait for people to start waking up. And I get to see them rubbing their eyes and sipping their coffee while I'm all rambunctious." God damn it. I seriously need a real... I can't use this desk as a mouse pad anymore. It's just not working. Wasting way too much time. Taking me 2 minutes to fucking copy something so I can paste it. Snow blind. Did my radar stop? Damn it. There we go. And now I'm on top chat. Holy. This is what happens when you don't stream often enough. B says it's 46 there, and you're in Indiana, sister? Yesterday when I seen the, and I know it snows in the mountains farther south, right? But the snow was getting pretty far into Tennessee. And I thought, man, that's kind of cold, especially, I mean, it's a cold blast. It's an early cold blast. We don't even start winter officially for another 17 days or some shit. Oh, you're back in Florida now? I gotcha. I was going to say, that's pretty warm for Indiana. Because I know it'd be chilly all up in here right now. Wes says, funny thing is water on three sides keep temps at fair values. Yeah. I mean, we do get bitter cold because we're so far north, but the lakes help keep, I mean, not inland so much, Wes, like, but certainly 20, 30 miles from the lake, it makes a difference. It keeps the lake shore a little bit warmer. Nothing that's changes anything much, but Nosy says it's 44 degrees there, 7 Celsius, too warm for December. See that? Yeah, it's climate change, right? Like, it's not saying that this is just like extremely rare and odd that we got this cold snap, but it's not a usual thing. And then, like you said, you're warmer than normal. I'm colder than normal right now. Shit's crazy. I just wonder what this season change is going to bring for possible floods and out west, or, like in the hills of Cali or on the west coast there, anywhere. Nosy says, cool, I can feel like I'm in Florida. B says her daughter got snow yesterday in Indiana. Yeah, some of this lake effect, well, you can see, let me bring this up a little bit, B. You can see that the lake effect bands are just starting to fall apart right at the Indiana-Michigan border, right? Like they're reaching up to the Sturgis, Michigan there. And I think you told me about where you were, where your family and stuff is in Indiana, but I'm not going to repeat that. But you probably won't get much snow in Indiana today. And it looks like, if I can get this to scroll, my best chance of precipitation is tomorrow, but it's going to be above freezing, so it's going to be a sloppy, slushy mix. And I'm looking forward to Sunday and Monday. It's going to be, well, Sunday's supposed to be partly sunny above freezing. Monday could be in the 40, close to 40. But it does show some precipitation for me. It's when it starts getting to 20 degrees or below at night, it takes a lot of work, or wood and work, I guess, to constantly keep the house warm. Because I have this beat up old farm shack, All right, let's see if I get my map back in the right spot. Yeah, I'm not a big holiday fan. I mean, I don't. I just. It was great when the kids were little, and then I'm like 30 years of marriage, raising 5 kids to adults. Um, all those years of traveling and all that stuff. It's like I'm over it. I am over it. I look forward to that, and we're Mrs. V and I always we just let the kids decide when they want to get together, like because most of them have in-laws now, so and we don't care as long as a day, the a specific day makes no difference, right? Not to us. I'd rather see them happy and not stressed, right? Or feeling guilty or bad or something because they don't. There's no need to. So we just go with the flow as far as celebrating the holidays with the kids. Like I said, we do Thanksgiving on Friday every year for several years now. Um, and I look forward to that little Christmas celebration with the kids and then coming home with Mrs. V, and it's like just a nice peaceful night, ready to start a new year, right? All that good stuff. B says there's a guy here who has a snow machine. Crazy to see his yard covered in snow with a bunch of palm trees. Wow, it must not last long. That's got to take some energy too, huh? Wes says he called his father and he's 88, and guess we aren't doing it. Wow, 88. Cheers to your dad. Well, Wes, once you get to be an adult your age, you can just bypass you get to start having some say over your parents, right? You could just be like, "That's fine, Dad. You don't have to celebrate. I'll be there with a little bit of food and whatever adult beverages you guys might enjoy, and right, and he can cry about you invading his house anyways with your Grinchy Christmas spirit." Yeah, I like the ski bowl in my hometown, just 20, 30 minutes north of the feed we're watching there. They have snow machines. Cause like last year, we had cold enough temps, but there was a lot of time we just didn't have any precipitation until I think we got some snow early in the year, and then at the last minute we got a lot of the snow that we needed for the snow melt, right? To fill the creeks and streams and Grinchy West, Grinchy Junior. Sorry, Wes, we're picking on you. It's only because we love you, man. Now I'm gonna have to fight to keep myself from calling him Grinchy West. Could say that about me, though, I suppose. All right, now I gotta share my favorite Christmas tune with you guys. One of my faves. These guys are badass. If you guys have not heard or seen this, it's fucking amazing. I'm not going to play it, but I'm going to sit here and listen to it a second. I'm not going to play it for you guys. All right, maybe a couple notes.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a... You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel. Just face the music, you're a monster, Mr. Grinch. Your heart's an
Yeah. That is some tasty stuff. TV's all ready to go. Dun, dun. Damn it, that's good. Now I'm going to have that stuck in my head for the rest of the day. What's the theme song? Damn it, B, stop. He's going to get pissed. And then he won't send us any Christmas presents. Or he'll fucking steal our tree or something. Wes says my son and granddaughter think flying here is going to make me change my mind. Well, see, Wes, what did I just suggest to you about your dad? Your kid's playing that card. He's going to come down there with your granddaughter, and they're going to force you to have so much fucking fun you'll be whistling zippity-doo out your ass. I love Wes. He's edgy, but we got to have folks like that. Keeps us in check. Doom. Man, those guys are powerful, aren't they? Wow. That's good stuff. Fuck winter. Jeez. I'm going to start getting paranoid, though, the longer this goes on. Like, so many places in Michigan along the lake shore and then up north were just hammered the last week. And we literally have, I don't know, it's probably only barely over an inch on the ground now. It's all started to settle. Wes says his mom was the family rock and she passed away 15 years ago. Yeah, my great granny was the family matriarch in that way. Most men are terrible at being organizers, family organizers, I guess. Or not as good, I suppose, I should say. Not terrible, maybe. All right, how long have I been at this? Wow, an hour and 15 minutes already, huh? Not that that's long. I'm probably going to be at this all day. I have some stuff that I should probably do later here around the house, but yeah, I'll probably be probably keep this live stream going for some time unless I have any issues, which I don't even want to bring up. That's part of the reason I haven't streamed much the last week because I was having some tech issues. I hope they're cleared up. I really hope they're cleared up. I'm seeing good signs that some shit has adjusted on my PC, but I was a little worried for a minute there. I thought I may be streaming and doing everything from Mrs. V's laptop, which never gets used, but it's not. I mean, I keep this desktop. It never shuts off. Well, this past week I've been shutting it down when I'm done with it, but usually it's always running. I mean, for months at a time, literally. I'm going to go check the fire, check on the hound dogs, and do a little BRB, and I'll be back at West, B, Nosy. That was it. Just the four of us yapping and yapping this morning, huh? B, West, and Grinch, or B, Nosy, and Grinchy West. All right. Yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out. I'm going to be back in probably 10 minutes or so if y'all still around. And if you're not, I'm still going to be back in like 10 minutes or so. So see you soon. All right, round two. Round two. Let me do the desky hump. You can see the light coming in, trying to come through the crack in my window there behind me. Oh, there we go. Not that one. Mr. Grinch. What did I tell you guys? TV knows the lake shore pretty well, kinda, sorta. I survived it. We did some stupid shit out there in the winter. Those snow bands are setting up heavy. South Haven is just going to get hammered. I'll have to check the news on that later to see what their snowfall totals are going like. Mr. Grinch. So nothing sketchy at all about Cash Patel having an enemies list, right? I mean, he literally said that he was going to come after, hunt down the people that helped Joe Biden rig the 2020 election. It's like, went through that shit, Cash, for years. That never happened. So he wants to turn the Hoover building into a museum and send 7,000 FBI agents across the country to hunt down anyone that opposed Trump. Nothing Hitler-esque about that at all, right? I mean, holy shizzle dizzle. That's some scary shit. Iron Mountain, why does that sound familiar, B? Is that in Michigan? It is, isn't it? Yeah, I was never a winter sports guy. Like, we had, it's called, I don't know what they call it now. I don't know if it's called, it used to be called Mulligan's Hollow. And it was just this bowl, sand bowl, right? A huge one. On the insides of just the first round of dunes there off the lake in Grand Haven, and right at the mouth of the Grand River. And that's where they ski and all that stuff. So, but we would, being teenagers, we'd get all wrecked and go hit those ski slopes at night. Like after hours, I'm talking midnight and later, right? And it wasn't, I don't know if it was illegal or if there's any actual specific law against us doing it, but the cops would always try and hassle us. But they didn't want, we're all decked out in snow gear and shit. And sure, they were dressed for winter, but they weren't coming up into the woods of the dunes and stuff trying to chase us out of there. Now, in the summertime, they would have parties back in there and stuff, and they would raid us. But in the UP, yeah, right on. I thought it sounded familiar. That reminds me, B. I came across a Marquette, Michigan live feed. Yeah, let's see what's going on up there. Nothing much, but they get cold. I don't know how much snow they get. Probably a lot. But they get cold. There's Iron Mountain. Looks like we probably have some national forest there. I'm assuming in the green. Yeah, I never went that far. I've been that far west. I don't know if we actually got to Iron Mountain or not, but when my aunt graduated from the Naval Academy there or the Naval Base there in Chicago, in 83 or 84, 83 I want to say, my grandparents took me and my sister, 2 years younger than me, over to watch her graduate. What was cool is I got to see my son graduate from the same naval base. How many years later? Twenty 22, 23 years later. But we went down, headed south to Chicago, and then when we watched her graduate and had to say our goodbyes and stuff, we spent the next week going up around Lake Michigan. So I've been all the way around Lake Michigan once, which was pretty cool. I mean, considering all the times I've been to the UP as a kid and all that stuff, and to Canada. God, where was the big copper mines? Musing, maybe. It was a copper bay or something like that. But that was a memorable trip. As many times as we went camping and stuff and did vacations in the UP all along the Lake Superior shoreline there. That was a good trip. Seen a lot of cool stuff. I'm glad I was 13, 14-ish, so I was able to remember quite a bit of that trip. Let's get back to the South Haven Snow Band. All right. Buck Lake area. And I tell you, like, when we went to Chicago to see my kid graduate, the northern Chicago area is really nice. It's beautiful. I had no idea. And it's not like that I'm just ignorant and subject to all the bad press about Chicago, right? In fact, I was watching a live feed of coverage of a mass shooting there yesterday, which I don't want to get into. Those people piss me off. It was really nice up there, but back to the trip with my grandparents, man, once we got north of like Milwaukee, it was just the most boring freaking. I mean, I'd never been like through Kansas and the cornfields and all that stuff, but it's pretty boring over there in northern Wisconsin. It really is. And the lake, the shoreline on the other side of the lake from me, they don't have beaches. It's all rocks. Like we got all the sand here, right? Because that's the way the wind blows. Oops, what'd I do there? There we are. Coming down, coming down. See, now, if it kept up like this, the snow would be, the ice caps would be forming. Icebergs, ice caps would be forming there on the lake shore or on the beach for sure. But it's going to start warming up a little bit. Like it's going to get above freezing on and off for the next 10 days. So they probably won't form yet. But that weather right there, that's definitely kind of stuff that gets it going. I keep moving my windows around. Oops. I'll do that again. Yeah, crazy. Glad it's missing me. And just a reminder, any of you that do come by, hit that thumbs up or down, share with those you love, those you don't. Subscribe if you have room for another subscription. I keep going back. I can't help but watch some of the Chud Chat comments. Those people are never freaking happy, I'll tell you. I mean, yeah, it's not even a month after the election, and look at me. Look at TV sitting here smiling all happy and shit. Yeah, we used to do stupid shit as a kid, be on these dunes, I'll tell you. Especially, like, my sister 2 years younger than me. But my mom's 2 brothers and 2 sisters were closer in age to me. They were 4, 5, 6, and 7 years older than me. And the oldest one, who was 7 years older than me, was 14 years younger than my mom. So just to give you a little perspective. So I was raised with them, right? They're not really my aunts and uncles, but more my brothers and sisters. And so that made me like second youngest of six kids, basically, right? In fact, my grandma, I guess, had a miscarriage after I was born. So I would have had an aunt or an uncle that would have, I think it was, I would have had an aunt that would have been younger than me. But God, back then, you know how it was? Riding bicycles without helmets, right? Sketching or God, what did they call that? My buddy always had a name for it. We'd hitch bumpers of cars in town, right? Would just be walking along the sidewalk and they were putting around 25 miles an hour speed limit in town, and then the roads were always, when they're snow packed and icy, nobody was really doing that anyways because it was these short blocks, right, light to light or whatever, in traffic. So they'd stop at a stoplight and we'd quick jump off the curb and get down behind their car and grab onto their bumper. I remember we got one of our teachers, and or it was a social studies teacher or whatever, and he couldn't get up the hill heading towards the lake. God, he was so, and he realized there was three of us or so on the back of his bumper, and he got pissed. But yeah, we would go sledding down those dunes, and when you're talking, 200 plus foot dunes, right? 300 foot. You'd have to look. I can't recall what the one we sledded down there, right on the Grand River was. What sucks is they have, from one thing to another. Somebody talked the city into letting them build condos there, and so you can't. And they always had fencing up, right, to protect the dunes anyway. So, but it was never illegal. They would always, they never stopped people from climbing on the dunes. It was, for fuck's sake, you want to enjoy them, right? But I get that if you had, and especially, the town was less than 10,000 people through the 70s and into the 80s when I was a kid, and it's well over 35,000 now. And so, yeah, and it's a huge tourist trap. That's always how we made a lot of our money, was tourism, but it's massive now. People have realized just how beautiful West Michigan is, especially, well, if you're a winter fan, it's even in the winter, but so that would definitely take its toll on it. And we do have walkways all the way from, Benton Harbor, South Haven there, all the way up to Traverse it to the bridge. There's just all kinds of opportunities to get into the dunes and not be destroying them. But Random, what's up? Shh. What do you mean that's just a little snow? I think we do. Wasn't it not too long ago that me and you had this conversation, didn't we? I think I asked you what kind of snow you guys got each year in Alberta. And I know it's probably different areas. I don't know how mountain it is there. I don't pretend to be a Canadian enthusiast, but I try to show interest, Random, because you know what a big heart I have. I'm not a Mr. Grinch. That's some snow, Random, I'm telling you. They're getting fucking hit with some snow, my brother. That's just like South Haven's probably about an hour south of me. Somewhere's in there, probably a little longer in that weather. B says Benton Harbor's an artsy, fartsy little town. Yeah, like there's some other ones too, like Douglas, Saugatuck area. B is like a huge, how do I say this? Just like a pretty liberal community, right? Always had a pretty solid LGBTQ community there. Very, very artsy area, music. It's a fun place in the summer. Random, did you hit the thumbs up and share this stream with your friends and family? You know that should be the first thing you do, right? Should we check out the Holland cam? Let's see if I can. I'm going to be fucking taxed. I was trying to be good. I was so fucking. I don't want to get into it. I was pissy about having tech issues for a bunch of reasons because I'm like ready to be balls out streaming. I thought after the election, well, I thought if Harris Walls won that, things might get a little slow on the channel. I might be, it wouldn't be such intense topics, I guess, or subject matter, but that wasn't the case. And so immediately after the election, I figured, fuck, I'm going to be streaming like mad now. And then I started having all these issues. Let me see if I can bring up a Holland, Michigan Lakeshore cam, which is just north of where we're watching. Yeah, there's a bunch. If you guys are into that kind of stuff at all, oh wow, I didn't know we had this. Let me see if I can fucking just start adding windows here. And there it is. Sweet. Here's the pier that I grew up on, you guys. I didn't even know that they had this cam. It was showing right inside the light tower. So this is halfway up the pier. Which again, I don't recommend at all that anybody goes walking around on any piers in the winter. So that's the mouth of the Grand River. You can see the North Pier there. And this is what they call the South Pier in Grand Haven. No snow. Now that's north of Holland, though, where I was trying to get us. So let's go back. They're wanting to show me cameras from, well, maybe this one isn't live anymore. Wanting to show me cameras from the country of Holland. All right. Yeah, weird. That's really strange. Apparently, maybe it's just offline or something now. That's strange. That was one I watched quite a bit when there would be storms coming across the lake was how, but I guess they don't have it up at the moment anyways. Good enough. Yeah, so Holland is definitely going to get hit with some snow here. They said we have some chance of some flurries, which it looks like they could be moving in, but it's gonna get like just sloppy weather tomorrow here, which I'm fine with. Better than 20 degrees and snowing like a bitch. All right, now what the hell? Ah, that's why. Ha! Funny. I had my whole feed captured. All right. Random says we get big fluffy snowflakes. It's a different amount every year, but really? This but this she, but this is pretty typical for us. I don't like any videos on YouTube, not even my own. I didn't ask you to like your own videos. Of course you get a different amount every year. Yeah, I have that I have that in my bookmarks, that next rad, and I use I think you shared that one with me and the Metro Blue. I usually use that Metro Blue one a lot more for like checking out the hurricanes and stuff because you can do the different wind patterns. And I swear that that one Nextrad one, it doesn't have as many locations. I don't think it does, if I remember correctly. All right, I'm just gonna sit here a second, wait for Random to hit that thumbs up. I'm gonna have to go make another cup of coffee here too pretty soon. Yeah, this one I have up is just a local news station radar that I usually always hit up for my local forecast. I've been thinking about that too, B, getting set up and maybe doing some live painting streams. Though I'm not still trying to figure out how I'm going to do it without totally coating all my electronic equipment up here with paint. I mean, I can, if I, I can probably prep my canvas beforehand, and so I'm not like just beating the shit out of the canvas with a big ass brush full of paint, but like I can cover up. But I don't know how. I have a mic that will pick me up from across the room, but God, is it annoying to listen to, especially since I've been using this one the last couple of years. But I think I could get a camera fairly close to my canvas and have somewhat of a decent shot. lighting's always tough because of glare. But I'm more trying to figure out how I can have decent sound. I may just probably gonna have to invest in a good or a halfway decent wireless mic, or one that gets paired and has decent sound, like a, what do they call, clip-on mic or a tie mic, collar mic, button mic. Random, what do you think about Trump's picks, buddy? What do you think about someone like Kash Patel? Assuming maybe you're not familiar with him, but if you are, what's your thoughts on someone like that with no real ideology about anything, absolutely zero law enforcement experience, a conspiracy nut to the fucking nth degree, he's a fascist at the most fascist level. He is his only real strong stance seems to be supporting Trump and doing whatever dear leader says. So just curious. I like to, I know that you don't have a vote here or anything, but have I talked to you since the election? Maybe. I can't recall. I think maybe we have yapped for a second. I'm not sure what it's going to be the real concern. I'm talking about Kash here and there today. His enemies list was just is really unsettling, to put it lightly. I mean, I don't have the words to describe just how disgusting it is. But I don't think I have a clear understanding of what all the real threat and concern can be or is with his rhetoric, and having someone like that with that kind of rhetoric in a position of FBI director. But he would have to, I was put at ease a little bit, considering he would have to have corrupt judges, corrupt prosecutors, corrupt grand juries, right, to be just, manufacturing charges against anybody that disagrees with Trump. I've seen it. I've literally seen people my size, which is small, worrying and changing what they do because now, am I worried about Trump or Kash coming after someone like, or a channel my size? Absolutely not. Am I worried about him? Do I think it's possible that he will be coming after people like me who do what we do here? Without a doubt, he will. If he's, and not just Kash, right? Like, there's a good chance that whoever gets in that position is going to do what Kash said he would do. But the thing is there's going to have, it's, I can't say with 100% surety that it won't be, Kash won't be confirmed, but because of the fucking world we live in, the country we live in today, it really seems like anything's possible. Even that fucking bonkers as shit. But whoever it is probably going to share a lot of those same thoughts, and so it's not good. Random says, I don't follow U.S. politics as closely as those here. I get what makes major headlines, Elon Musk, etc. I quickly look at Cash. Looks like he was in the first administration, so it's just more of the same, right? Random says he's been shaking his boots because of the 25% tariffs, stocking up on food for what the Canadian economy collapses, and you Americans come invading Canada for all our oil and fresh water. We have the Great Lakes. You guys only... Do I need to show you the border of the Great Lakes? Yeah, you have a lot of lakes up there. You have a lot of fresh water too, but... And I know you're just being so... Yeah, well... Trump is a fucking moron. He is. It makes me sick. Just what an arrogant bastard he is. Arrogant and ignorant, right? Like, he just is completely clueless. I don't have the vocabulary other than a lot of F-bombs right now, anyways. Random says, but honestly, you're right. I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm a centrist, so I think both the picks you had for president were bad choices. Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that, Random. It's hard for me to say that Harris was a bad choice. Look, there's a lot of shit that we're just fighting through in the system we have to work within. And that was Random. That was something I'd hope we could do here more if Harris had won. Like, we've been trying to calm things for the last 4 years, and I was hoping had she and Walz won that it would just be a continuation of that, and things would continue to settle, right? Like, we had a decent economy. Yeah, inflation sucks, but gas is low, and people are working, jobs are up, employment's up big time, unemployment's down, right? So it would have been cool to be able to get into more, hey, we need to make some fundamental changes. I stand by supporting and voting for Harris and Walz, but we did only have two choices ultimately, right? If you wanted to vote for someone that was going to win, it was going to be Harris or Trump. I don't think she was a terrible candidate or a bad choice. I think that I think she was the obvious choice after Biden. I think she was the right choice after Biden stepped down, considering the time frame of, from when he stepped down to the election. Which again, I'll make excuses. 107 days is not enough. I mean, Trump's been campaigning for 4 freaking years. So clearly we have people that maybe I would have liked to have seen as opposed to Harris, but I wouldn't say that she was a bad choice. But I get your point. Again, I keep going back to the Hitler was just a short, angry guy without his supporters. And for whatever reason, I feel like the folks that supported Hitler in the 30s and 40s for whatever reason, I just don't feel like the Trump cult gets anywhere near the level of intelligence of those folks. And not that they were making smart choices or moral choices, right? Not the right ones. But I also know that a lot of Trump voters, out of, when he had whatever he had, 70 some million Americans vote for him, they're not all stupid. A lot of them get that these tariffs are just, but it blows my mind, some of the people that I talk to in person that have graduated high school, maybe have a little college, maybe not, work hard, they have accomplished things in their life, own their homes, whatever, right? And think that these tariffs are going to drive companies to build factories in America. It makes my fucking head hurt. And I'm not a financial expert. Not even close. So that's really the toughest part of all this, is none of this shit would be happening if we didn't have a huge part of our country that is disgruntled and they don't even fucking know why. Or they don't know what the cause of their discontentment is. Like, they're looking at the wrong things as answers for why they're fucking broke or have fucked up their life or whatever they're unhappy about. There's one thing that we can be unhappy about that is true, and that's inflation, but I don't see how you just pile all that on. And if you want to pile that on a president's shoulders, whatever, but it doesn't change the reality of how it works, right? So all I wanna do is chew some gum till the sun comes up on the Santa Monica Boulevard. Mm-hmm. Who doesn't like Sheryl Crow? B says she agrees with that statement, but I yap so much. Maybe she was talking about random statement. Yeah, I guess. I mean, there's nothing wrong with, living out in the country all the years that I have and having the big family that I've always had, or at least with Mrs. V and I. We try to keep the house, always had, plenty of food in the house. And there's only 3 of us here now, so. And we have a freezer full of deer meat and whatever, dry goods. It's just not going to be able to buy enough. You're not going to, unless you're planning on going out and buying 2 years worth of food, you're probably not going to save yourself a bunch of money down the road or eventually, because this is going to go on. This is going to be a slow burn with Trump. Like, it's probably going to build a little quicker than it's going to go back down, right? Or it's probably going to build twice the speed that it'll go back down when it finally does get corrected. Now, who knows whether it'll get corrected during his administration or not. Who knows? It just maybe they won't. These things won't even happen. I don't know. Um, I don't know why someone, a rich bastard like Trump, would be hell bent on hurting the folks that voted for him. Sure, I can see that he doesn't give a shit about me and the rest of the Harris voters, right? I mean, just to say, hey, I'm following through with what I promised, no matter how fucking bonkers it is, you know. But that can't put it past him to do that. Random says, I understand why people pick Trump. I looked at the voting statistics and it was basically poor old white men with kids and no education against rich young black women with no kids with higher education. People are tired of the poor economy and they care more about the economy. Are tired of the poor economy and they care more about the economy than they do about identity politics or healthcare or education. Right. Yeah, I agree. We're selfish, dude. There's no doubt. I'm with you on that. Personally, I think the left went a little too far left to pull out. Yeah, but dude, how can you say that, Random? You come, especially from such a liberal country that you live in, well, with so many great social programs. And I know they're not flawless social programs that Canada has. But how can we not afford to do? And I'm assuming when you say went too far left or tried to, that, I mean, what am I missing, brother? Why are we not stopping corporate welfare to give every American health care? Why is that too far left? Why is that thought or idea too far left? So yeah, shift toward Trump. I think we just have a whole bunch of fucking racists that are dying out and a bunch of fucking entitled, poor, rich, but white folks. That's the people that I think voted for Trump. Because they either cannot stand the idea of fucking answering or having a woman lead our country, right? Or a black person. We've seen that. Random, you can't deny that. They 100% hated Obama just because of his skin color. So imagine having a black woman, and I don't disagree that maybe a lot of the people that she had campaigning for were rich black folks. But that's kind of how it goes. Your surrogates are usually well known or whatever, right? They're going to draw people, or hopefully. But I think there's a lot of unresolved childhood issues with these fucking Trumpers. Random says, also, I think the assassination attempt really woke up some American pride in America that gave him a sort of warrior status. Well, for sure. And for anybody that caught it, unfortunately, I had to clear all my content, but most of us here spoke out against that immediately and strongly, right? We can't have that shit. We can't have that crap happening. I mean, we have justice systems or at least I thought we had a justice system for folks like Trump and criminals, but yeah, that didn't help. But those people are wacky. They weren't thinking about the betterment of our country, right? They need to be institutionalized and are now. But Random, again, to elaborate, I feel like they are their animosity is misplaced at a minimum. Like I don't know who the Trumpers are blaming for their terrible living situation, whatever it is. I mean, it really seems to have come down to the border and inflation. And there is no border crisis. And they never wanted to talk about the numbers under Trump. Inflation, I don't have an answer for. It's what happened after the pandemic. And honestly, we see that Biden and Harris totally fucking cleaned up after Trump, and now he's going to be right back in. And if there's any lingering positive effect from Biden and Harris's cleanup, Trump's going to take credit for that. And then he's going to destroy it. I just think that we have to be a little, like I said, reading your comments, Americans are selfish. There's no doubt about it. And we need it. That's the problem. And it's mostly on the right, though we can all make changes and adjustments and compromises for sure. But we're just not anywhere near close to agreement on the things that each side thinks is important. Like I mentioned health care for all as opposed to corporate welfare. It's like, how is that even a discussion? But it is. And the corporate welfare won out this election. Sorry, I'm just reading through. Little notice I got. All right. Nels, what up, brother? Good morning to you. Random says the pivotal issue is the economy. Right, but Trump's not doing anything to resolve that. That's my point. I agree with you that the economy is an issue, but I don't agree at all, and not that you're suggesting Trump was the answer, because he isn't. I mean, you even said, you're preparing for the tariffs that the fucking moron is ready to put in place on every one of our fucking allies and trading partners. But the pivotal issue is the economy, that Trump just isn't going to be there's going to be no positive change. And it wasn't, for fuck's sake, Biden saved our country. For fuck's sake, he saved our country. Yeah, the stimulus packages did help push the inflation here in America. So very little, overall comparative to the supply and demand issues that we had worldwide. So it's it's I don't know, it's just like almost irrelevant. Kamala wanted to keep the status quo, and most people want change, even if it's Trump that brings it. Kamala's the devil that you don't know. Right, but again, to your comment that Trump was going to bring the change that people Trump is going to bring change, but not the change that people want, and that's the part that bothers me. Is like, how did so many folks become either so selfish or so ignorant or both? You know. Right. Well, of course, Random, but that's Random says he doesn't follow American politics, but can give us more points of why folks voted Trump over Kamala because she's unknown. The same with why I think we voted, not me personally, but why America voted Trump in 2016 because he was unknown. But now we know just what I mean, since then we've known exactly who he is. So, and how you I mean, so that's you're saying that changed. Like we voted for Trump in 2016, or America did overall, I guess. The electoral college anyways, because he was the unknown. Well, why wouldn't that have applied to Harris? I'll tell you why. Is because it it didn't override the fact that she's a black female. That's why. Well, I don't think. What do you mean? What do we know? Right. If you're not willing to research your candidate, then you wouldn't know anything about Harris. But we have her public history, right? Her work history. I mean, we have the 4 years that she spent as Biden's partner running the country or leading our country, which just they got a raw deal, man. It's I'm not saying they got raw deal because they you get the fucking plate that you're served when you win a presidential election. My point is they handled it. They handled it. We don't get to go back and see how Trump would have handled it had he won in 20. We probably shit would be a mess right now. Nell says that it's going to be an interesting next 4 years. Well, it's going to be scary. I'm hoping big changes in 2026 now. So I know any of the Chuds listener probably like, oh, TV's hoping. What else can I do? But keep doing what I do here. Go out and vote. I definitely plan on doing more to bring people to the polls than I did, like personally here locally, than I did this past election. I took some help from somebody that the other day about like suggesting that I didn't do a fucking enough in this election. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? I did more than 90% of the voters. Nels, can I ask you, are you back home, brother? Or are you out west again? Are you still at home or are you out west? Back out west. Maybe you told me you were going to stay here on the East Coast or this side of the Mississippi for a while. I can't recall. Still in Kentucky, right on. Did it get a little chilly yesterday? Did you get snow where you were at? I seen Kentucky was seeing all kinds of snowflakes. I don't know how much of it made it to the ground or how chilly it was there, but gonna stay until after New Year. I gotcha. Random says Trump made outrageous claims he got elected over Hillary because he wanted to drain the swamp. Right? There's a in quotations. There's a huge amount of Americans that want to shake things up. That's what Trump claims he's going to do now, and I think he will try harder to this time too because it is his last chance and he doesn't have to worry about reelection. Right. It's he's going to shake things up, but not in a good way. I mean, just I don't have there's nothing I can do to show you that other than waiting for time to pass. I hope I'm wrong. The last thing I want to do is see anybody suffer. I much rather sit here and say I was completely wrong about Trump and his economic platform and his ideas and his plans. I would love nothing more than to sit here and say how wrong I was about that. And if I am, I will sit here and say it. I mean, come on. Just why wouldn't I want to see America continue to grow out of this, this tough time with the inflation? And I mean, prices aren't coming down again on anything. We've absorbed it. The only thing that could change is that Trump will make it worse. I really don't see. I mean, nothing in his plans say that it's gonna. Just history does not support that helping anything at all. So I don't know. Again, I'd like to be wrong. Nell says he got a few inches of snow, but the sun melted it. Yeah, it's kind of getting bright out there. I don't know if I'm in it. Yeah, it's just cloudy. There was a couple, just literally a snowflake here and there. But I mean, all this lake effect snow is that little boomerang shape there is the top of it's right at my house. Right down to Sturgis, right? But it's all been South Haven, little bit, Ottawa County area, Grand Haven, Holland. They are getting hammered. Now I probably have it. Yeah, that's good enough. But it looks like they might looks like South Haven may get a little break here shortly. It's certainly lightening up a little bit. Yeah, you can see the lighthouse on that top feed next to me there. Once again. Random says Trump also has a lot more power now having the House, the Senate. Yeah, and basically he also had the House and the Senate his first 2 years of his first term. Almost every president has, or every president has for quite some time. I looked that up not too long ago, but because it was looking like that even if Harris had won, that she wasn't going to keep the Senate. And clearly we didn't take back the House or keep the Senate. But basically the Supreme Court, I only hope he doesn't try for dictatorship, right? And that the American people are smart enough not to let it happen. Well, we are a democracy. So it's, as you've seen, I mean, we don't, that's something I'm proud of all the Democrat voters, that I only had to talk a couple people down from the fucking voter fraud thing. I'm like, there was no voter fraud. We lost, you know. But yeah, we're a democracy, and when you have a majority of people that might be okay with Trump being a dictator, I don't know, or a majority of the voters, or people who voted, I should say. Rand says, I agree. I think his plans for the economy are stupid and are only going to hurt Americans. They're gonna hurt everyone, brother. But you have to also remember that's what the American, yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100% on all that. We get what we deserve. Our brother Putin has said same thing. It's like, well, whoever we vote in, we get what we deserve. We are making the choices as a whole. Yeah, there's still no better system than democracy. Though it's you know, and again, I'm just one person, so for me to sit here and say, man, there's the majority of voters just don't get it. I understand that goes absolutely nowheres. You know, me saying that my opinion means shit. But I don't think there's a lot of people, sane folks, that would disagree that I got it right. Yeah, it was screwy, Nelson. I don't get it. Hurts, dude. I wonder. I don't get it. I don't. You know, I for the first time I heard the other day that because of all the there was some voting laws that were changed because we had a lot of um, mail-in voting during 2020, right? That some of that got changed. I don't know if that was enough to affect people, and it pisses me off. It's no excuse. Like, if you're too lazy, and it's not all about laziness. I suppose there were folks that were affected and unable to get to the polls at any time, and so they took advantage of being able to vote via mail. And if it changed after 2020 in their area, that maybe they're still unable to get to a polling place. Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly. Random says Germany was a democracy as well before the government gave Hitler emergency powers and he became the supreme leader. Well, most dictators come into power through legal means, and then they change shit. Yes, we have a republic, a constitutional republic that is managed through democratic means, a democratic process. Well, I tell you what, the guy we just elected, random, said that. Let me see if I can. I just seen it before I. Here we go. This is the fear of losing that republic. We elected the very guy that threatens it. It is. But again, Random says that's wildly scary. It is, dude, but not half as scary as the people who shrug it off, right? That's the scary part. It's all his supporters because we are a democracy. You literally have 70 plus million folks that voted that think it's not a big deal that Trump even, it wasn't jokingly, but even that's the kind of shit there's nothing funny about. It's fucked up. Pro, cheers, brother. It's good to see you. Viva la France. Yeah, it's just so fucking far right fascy. It's again, I just cannot get over. It's one. I'm not shocked that there's people like Trump out there in the world, right? Not for a second. I'm shocked that there's so many people, millions of people here in America that are willing to just fucking give up everything they have to prop up someone like Trump. It's absolutely mind blowing. Well, it's unproven only because the second one is only because it's third hand quote, right? Or it's hearsay because Trump saying I need the kind of generals that Hitler had, I believe was said to one of his generals, wasn't it? It was in a private conversation. There is no doubt about it. So, and I believe it was General Kelly who declined to comment, but he was the. I think it was him, and people can beat up on me if they want. I'm full disclosure. I'm not positive about who claimed that Trump made that statement, but it was someone that was very trustworthy and would normally, and that's the great thing about our military leaders. Um, well, other than Flynn, I guess I was going to say that they've really do well to avoid um, getting involved in the politics as much as possible. But they also, are human and Americans first, and have concerns of their own about the future of our nation. Pro says, wait, we tell Mel- Melanoma that Marie Antoinette's executor said, well, shall we have a whack at it? Melania might need a new prenup. Just saying. Yeah. Well, gosh. If there was I've never been into the like entertainment drama type news, but it's a curious. I mean, it's not a curious relationship in the sense that I'm not surprised that it's a business or a partnership and not so much a marriage, but how she was completely vacant for so long, and then it towards the end there, and just her different interviews and supporting women's reproductive rights, and but just odd. Yeah, and then coming out and bitching about her husband's assassination attempts, and just weird. Random asks if we heard about the RCMP that went to a Montana gun show to conduct surveillance. The authorities told them to go pound snow. Montana attorneys says Royal Canadian Mounted Police were trying to spy on U.S. gun shows. Well, that dude, Bozeman's a fucking quack, dude. Yeah, I wonder, random. I thought about that recently. Like, there's how. I mean, it's got to be pretty easy to cross the border into Canada, anywhere's away from one of the main entry points, right? What there's one in Michigan, and then is it Montana or North Dakota, maybe somewhere's in the northern, the upper Midwest, or along the border. There's another what I guess we call a major point of entry. And then on the west coast, of course. Yeah, it is clearing out there here a little bit west, or all those lake effect snow showers are supposed to wind down here as we go through the day. Yeah, and Putin published nudie pictures. B says it seems like AI to me. There, it's not. There were some photos that were there were some that were questionable, but they're like a lot of the main. I think is what they some folks were saying that just the different what was it, the location or scene or something, or like the details of those, where or how those photos came about may not be clear. But all right, you guys, it's about that time again. I've already been at it for another hour and a half. I'm gonna keep this stream up. I am gonna go well, I'm supposed to feed the hounds at about 11. It's 10:30. I might feed them early because I need to take a break. So I'm just going to leave this up. And I will be back 10 to 15 minutes or so. I'm going to check the fire, do a BRB, check on my hound dogs, and then, I don't know, maybe start some laundry or something. I gotta move around though. Appreciate you guys. Hey, random. If you're still here when I get back, brother, we'll yap some more. That was good. That was good stuff, dude. For sure, for sure. I mean, I that's why I love talking to folks, because it helps me. You guys kind of help me work out my own thoughts, not influencing them necessarily, helping me work through them. So I appreciate you. All right, you guys. Either be good or hang tight or both. I'll see y'all again soon. And I'm back, and we have more breaking news. So I'm going to get rid of. Yes, I'm going to get rid of all this extra stuff here. So I can. All right, so now I'm probably going to have. Now I'm probably going to have this all messed up. Why is it? What did I do? Test, test. All right, good enough. South Korean President Yoon declares martial law, slams domestic opponents. On Tuesday, the South Korean president declared martial law in a surprise late night TV address, slamming domestic political opponents and sending shockwaves through the country. Yoon said opposition parties had taken the parliamentary process hostage. He vowed to eradicate shameless pro-North Korean anti-state forces and said he had no choice but to take the measure to safeguard constitutional order. Now, I know there's been there has been oops. There has been some there's been strikes from the medical community for months there. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing here. I keep getting my stuff all out of whack. Protesting the number of. They went on strike to protest the number of medical students being admitted. Like they just increased the allowed number of students being admitted into medical universities or medical courses, right? And it wasn't South Korea that I had seen something similar on this. It was China that there are more. They're like, God, what was it? There's 12 million students college students in China, and it's increasing by like 1.8 million a year or something. And they don't have. There's going to be no job. There's no place for these folks to take jobs for what they went to school for when they graduate. And so it sounds like that is possibly, or at least that's one of the concerns there in North Korea. Oh, I keep clicking this wrong thing. Jeez, there we go. And so that's part of it, but they have a law in South Korea that if they get a majority, I don't know if it's a simple majority, 2/3, I don't know if it works. I doubt it's exactly like our um, Congress, Parliament, whatever they call it there. But they can overturn the martial law. So I am just now hearing about this and reading on it. And so, but the party leader of the president is speaking out against them. So, yeah, it's crazy. Random is back. Random says the thing about Ukraine as well. Obviously, Ukraine is just trying to defend themselves. Russia is the clear aggressor. However, there is no way that Ukraine wins this war without international help. Of course not. Ukraine having international help pushes Russia into a corner where they will use nuclear weapons. The only way we see peace is if Russia claims Ukraine. The only way that will happen is if the U.S. stops providing them with money and weapons. Well, I'll push back on your comment a little bit about forcing Russia, or pushing Russia to use nuclear weapons. I don't think that's the case. Obviously, it's a concern. Putin is a madman, so we don't know exactly where he will stop or if he will, right? But as crazy as it may sound, Random, and I have kids and grandkids, brother, I'm not sure I want to live in a world where we bow or bend to someone like Putin. Yeah, I know. Pride, right? Principle, ready to sacrifice the planet because we shouldn't bow to someone like Putin. But is it going to be any better? I mean, if that just progresses and that's what the world ends up with is someone like him in control of the world, or a handful of people like him in control of the world. I mean, we have a few folks that are in place that would be part of that now, right? The U.S. has provided about $91 billion, 70% of that being military aid. So there is some money, cash money, I guess, however it would be that. But most of that is also for just humanitarian aid, the cash part of it. So, and it's still, and I think Europe has spent about 131 billion total, or in aid for Ukraine. So, yeah, it's going to make a difference if all aid stops from the U.S. It's gonna make a huge difference. I don't know. I really don't. I'm not really sure what more I have to say on that, other than I hope the democracies of the world and anyone else continues to help support Ukraine in fighting back against Russia. Absolutely. It's terrible. I don't see, yeah, surrender doesn't seem like an option. Not at this, certainly not at this point. I mean, I'm glad to hear Zelensky saying that, the conditions are that all land, including Crimea, is returned back to Ukrainian hands. And I think that's a good stance. I support that. I mean, tanks aren't rolling down my streets. Is that the attitude I should have? No kids that I know of are living in bunkers. No 6-year-olds sitting there all happy in their fucking bomb shelters, You see those video clips of those kids? It's you never get that shit out of your mind. Random says Putin said, "What good is a world without Russia? We have to pick our fights. Do we really want to risk nuclear holocaust over Ukraine? I know Putin wants the Russian borders to return to Soviet era borders, right? So that's Ukraine, Georgia, Estonia, Lithuania, Belarus, etc. Yeah. Well, he's a kook, though, because most of those places had independence before or have a history before any sort of Russian state, right? And certainly before the Soviet Union. Oh, wow. So I just mentioned that Parliament is able to vote in majority numbers to overturn or undo the martial law in South Korea there. But the military and police, who are under the authority, right, of the president who enacted martial law, aren't letting parliament into or aren't letting members into the parliament. So that's an issue. Yeah, random. I do pay attention to that stuff, brother. In fact, I just seen that it was immediately after Ukraine invaded or Russia invaded Ukraine that Estonia and two other countries had increased their defense budget by I don't know what the percentages are. I know there's a 2% requirement, 2% of GDP requirement or recommendation by NATO terms, but yeah, it's still, and plus Putin isn't happy about Finland, right? Because Finland was kind of like this forced neutral area for a very long time. or it was forced upon them, I should say, as, some sort of buffer zone in a sense. Well, at least in that region. Wow, this is really crazy what's going on in South Korea there. All right. I think is what I'm going to do because I have been at this for a little while. And I had planned on being at it for a while, but I think I'm going to end this stream and I'm going to get caught up on what's going on there in South Korea. And then I'll be back live here before too long. So I appreciate all of you folks that joined me this morning. It's nice to just sit down and yap with friends, right? So I appreciate you. I'm going to get caught up on what's going on there in South Korea because it's pretty crazy. I mean, that's been a pretty stable democracy, a strong one for some time now. And with what's happening all over, like in Georgia and Romania, and obviously Eastern Europe, and in many facets, South America, it's just the Middle East, of course, with Syria, right? Not to mention all the wars that the fronts Israel's taken on, creating, whatever. All right. I will see you guys all soon. Be good. TV2 out.